Hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I'm Mark Herring, and I'm proud to have served you and all Virginians as Attorney General for the last 8 years. I'm not sure if there's a representative from Planned Parenthood on or not, but I do want to thank them for the great work that they do, and I'm very proud to have earned their endorsement. I also want to thank some amazing women leaders who are with me: Attorney General Kathleen Jennings from Delaware, State Senator Jennifer Boysko, and we expect that State Senator Jennifer McClellan and Supervisor Andrea Bailey will be joining us. I think they have been delayed for some reason, and hopefully they will be on shortly. And for these women, even when their rights are being threatened, they stand up taller and louder for what is right. And I will always be right here standing with the women of Virginia, ready to fight tooth and nail for their rights against extremists who want to strip them of their rights. And today I want to make it clear to all voters, the stakes are higher than ever this election. On the Republican ballot, we have 3 far-right extremists hell-bent on rolling back all of the progress Democrats have made in Virginia over the last 8 years. And on the ballot, voters will have a clear and stark contrast between my proven record of protecting Virginians and expanding our rights and my Republican opponent, who is anti-LGBT, anti-healthcare, anti-choice, NRA-endorsed, Ken Cuccinelli-style conservative activist. As Attorney General, I am so proud of the work that we have done in my office to make sure that Virginia is one of the safest, fairest, and most equal places to live and work in. But my work here is not done. No woman should ever have decisions about their reproductive system controlled by politicians. And yet my opponent seems to think he knows what is best for women and their bodies. Jason Miyares has said himself that he is pro-life, but it is clear to him that means anti-abortion. And as I have said before, he has a laundry list of votes that tell us exactly what his plans will be for reproductive rights in Virginia. Jason Miyares voted to defund Planned Parenthood, which saves lives every day and gives many low-income Virginians crucial access to reproductive and sexual health services and primary care. He also voted against allowing abortion coverage for health insurance plans offered in Virginia through the Health Benefits Exchange. And Miyares' crusade against reproductive rights does not stop there. He even voted against the Reproductive Health Protection Act, which repealed Virginia's extremely outdated and demeaning mandatory ultrasound law and 24-hour waiting period prior to abortion, and many other anti-choice regulations. And Texas's abortion ban is a clear warning of what is at stake here in Virginia if any of the Republicans on the ballot are elected. And with votes like those that I just talked about, it is clear that Jason Miyares cannot be trusted to stand up for reproductive rights in Virginia. And Jason Miyares' votes are in defiance of most Virginians' wishes. Support in Virginia for safe legal abortion is at an all-time high. These Republicans are trying to obstruct progress on the issues Americans and Virginians care most about and set Virginia back to a dark place that we do not want to go. We have a front row seat to see what happens when extreme right-wing Republicans are elected to statewide office. Texas, what's happening there? The right to choose across the nation has been jeopardized, and we have to protect that right here in the Commonwealth. Following what we saw in Texas, South Carolina quickly followed suit. So we cannot be naive to think the same thing won't happen in Virginia if we do not act now and stop these extremists from being elected. In November, voters will have a clear and stark choice between my proven record of protecting Virginians and expanding our rights and my opponent, extremist Jason Miyares, who would abuse the power of the office to try to roll back progress. And I can tell you this right now, Virginians can continue to count on me to fight tooth and nail in the courts to keep draconian, outdated, and just plain scary laws like the one in Texas out of our Commonwealth. I have a proven record of standing up for reproductive rights, and I have never shied away from a fight to make sure that every Virginian who needs it has access to the full range of reproductive health services in Virginia that they need and deserve. I have taken fights to the Virginia courts, the Supreme Court, and courts around the United States to fight for those who wanted to defund Planned Parenthood, to fight against Trump's attacks to Title IX, and to fight for abortion coverage in healthcare. And as Attorney General, I reversed dangerous and incorrect legal advice that my predecessor put forward that threatened to close women's health clinics all around the state. And Attorney General Kathleen Jennings and I took this fight to the national stage when we signed on to a challenge with 20 other states against South Carolina's 6-week abortion ban just last week. And I have also signed on to an amicus brief in support of the Department of Justice's lawsuit against Texas to block that abortion ban. And I know that Governor Terry McAuliffe, Delegate Hala Ayala, and I have all committed to protecting the right to choose here in Virginia. The bottom line is this: Jason Miyares, Winsome Sears, and Glenn Youngkin are completely out of step with Virginians on the issues that matter most: our safety, our healthcare, and our right to be treated equally. And this November, voters will send a clear message. Virginia will continue to move forward and make progress, not go backwards. So thank you all so much for being here, and I will turn it over to my friend and my colleague from Delaware, Attorney General Kathleen Jennings.
Thank you, Attorney General Mark Herring. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathy Jennings. As Attorney General of Delaware, I am so very proud to stand alongside your Attorney General Mark Herring on choice. We have worked together along with our Democratic Attorneys General colleagues to fight back against the restrictions and obstacles that politically driven state legislatures and governors, like those in Texas, are placing in the way of abortion, a legal, constitutionally protected medical procedure. Virginia, your healthcare is on the ballot. Your right to choose is on the ballot. Your right to access a safe, legal abortion is on the ballot. And that's why we need to re-elect Mark Herring as your Attorney General. I'm from Delaware, but I'm here because we are seeing in real time what's on the line for millions of people in Virginia and across our country. What's happening in Texas is exactly the future that many of us feared would happen if anti-choice extremists took power. And make no mistake, you have an anti-choice extremist in Jason Miyares. Mark's Republican opponent voted to defund Planned Parenthood, which saves lives each and every day and gives many low-income Virginians crucial access to reproductive and sexual health services, including non-abortion services as well. He also voted against allowing abortion coverage for the 250,000 Virginians who buy health insurance on the exchange. And he voted against legislation that clarifies that FDA-approved birth control is not considered abortion under state law. He even voted against the Reproductive Health Protection Act, which repealed Virginia's outdated mandatory ultrasound law and 24-hour waiting period prior to abortion, and many other anti-choice regulations. This is settled law. It's common sense, but we are learning every day that we can't take common sense for granted. And that's why Virginia needs Mark Herring. Just last week, Attorney General Herring and I joined a coalition of 24 Democratic Attorneys General to file an amicus brief backing the United States Department of Justice's lawsuit against Texas's illegal 6-week abortion ban. We also recently filed an amicus brief in support of Planned Parenthood's fight to dismantle South Carolina's 6-week abortion ban. We need leaders in states to be prepared to defend an individual's right to abortion and reproductive health care. And I am proud to be in this fight with AG Herring to work together on these vitally important issues. Access to abortion should not depend on where you live, who your attorney general is, or the size of your wallet. But that's exactly what will happen under these unconstitutional abortion bans. Low-income communities will disproportionately bear the burden of these restrictions, rendering abortion a medical procedure only guaranteed to those with privilege and those with money. Attorney General Mark Herring has been a stalwart advocate for Virginia's women on economic justice and on reproductive justice. And he has fought Republican attacks against our healthcare and our reproductive rights again and again. I have stood with Attorney General Herring in these fights and am proud to do so. I've seen him at work. I know how passionate he is about the issues that affect us the most. Right now, we need people who are going to fight for our rights, for our neighbors, and for our very democracy. And Virginia, you have a fighter in Mark Herring. Thank you. With that, I believe I will turn this over to State Senator Jennifer Boysko.
Thank you so much, Attorney General Jennings. I appreciate that. I am Jennifer Boysko. I represent the 33rd Senate District. Attorney General Mark Herring happens to be my constituent and my former senator, and I'm so proud to stand with him today. As a former board member of NARAL Pro-Choice Virginia, I will tell you that this has been a fight for years in Virginia, and over the past 2 years, we've made tremendous progress on protecting a woman's right to make her own decisions about her body. 7 out of 10 Americans and Virginians believe that when a woman has made a decision about terminating an abortion, people want her to have a safe and legal way to do that. We are working in Virginia to make that happen, and it is imperative that we keep Attorney General Mark Herring in this position to protect us. I have served with Jason Miyares. I was in his freshman class when I served in the House of Delegates, and I have watched him time and time and time again vote against the interests and protection for women and their reproductive health choices. And I can tell you wholeheartedly, without question, that if you care about these issues, Mark Herring, Hala Ayala for Lieutenant Governor, and Terry McAuliffe are the people that you want to support, as well as the Democrats who are running for the House of Delegates. This is on the line. You know, Virginians need to make sure that Mark Herring is reelected. He's been an unwavering advocate for Virginia women on issues, not only on abortion care, but also economic fairness, other issues around reproductive justice, and more. You know, when Terry McAuliffe was governor, he was a brick wall for reproductive freedom, and he and Attorney General Mark Herring fought in court to defend people's access to comprehensive healthcare services, including birth control even. Attorney General Herring reversed dangerous and incorrect legal advice from his predecessor that closed at least one of our women's health clinics here in Virginia and threatened to close more because of medically unnecessary and intentionally burdensome regulations. You may have heard of them called TRAP. Because of his correct legal advice in what the Washington Post has called a watertight official opinion, the Virginia Board of Health protected women's health clinics from expensive and medically unnecessary retrofits that would have closed many of our Virginia clinics that offer abortion services. Attorney General Herring also successfully fought alongside with his colleagues in the Whole Women's Health v. Hellerstadt to strike down Texas's onerous and medically unnecessary targeted regulation of abortion providers. It is imperative that we get people out to vote this year. If you care about reproductive health, if you care about the health of women and children, you've got to come out and vote for Mark Herring. I have sat in the chamber with Jason Miyares. I have watched him vote. While he presents himself very polished, he is with the rest of the Republicans who would like to roll back all of the progress that we have made for women and families to make their own healthcare choices. And I am so proud today to stand with Mark Herring to support him. And I appreciate Attorney General Kathleen Jennings for coming with us today as well.
Thank you, Senator.